Again, really happy to be here. It's been a while since I was hosting like a joint session with Eugene. So I'm going to do most of the like session and demo today, and Eugene has some parts where we'll pop in, and Eugene also has a great community session tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. So let's just start, right? Let's start. I don't have a long time, and I do want to cover many interesting things. So as you might have guessed, E2E is a social event, and usually we drink a lot. So what I'm trying to do here, and again, it's not mandatory, but hopefully we'll do it, is usually with the Controlup session, we bring booze to the session, and everyone who asks a question has to drink, or actually gets a drink from us. So, anyone who's interested, just grab a beer or a tequila shot. Please use the use like the GoToWebinar chat option or question option to ask questions. Eugene will monitor that obsessively, and if he will find your question interesting enough or provocative enough, he will pop in and answer it. Ask me that question, and at that point, I urge you to drink. Obviously, feel free to drink even without that. Tweet away photos, whatnot. That would be cool. So what I'm planning for today, I'm going to go through a few slides in like 3 minutes. And then it will be mostly live demos and a few updates and news. So let's start. So I am going to assume that most of you know about Controlup and heard our pitch before, so that's why I'm gonna really breeze through this part. But in case you haven't heard about us, we've been out there for a while, focusing mostly on VDI management, monitoring, reporting, analytics. We've grown quite a bit in the last few years, mainly due to Alex events, and thank you, Alex, for that. We're now almost, let's see if I can share my web here. I'm not sure I can. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, so hopefully you can see me now as well. So we have grown quite a bit, right? We're almost 200 employees now in Controlup, spread across the US, Western Europe, and Canada. Lots of great guys join us, so I'm really happy for that. Many customers, that's great. Working with all the top vendors. Some news about that soon. Interesting news, actually. But we are working closely with, Citrix, Microsoft, VMware, and all the guys listed here. You guys are all very familiar with the EUC challenges, so I'm not going to mention them again here. But the good news is that Controlup can fix all of them. Okay, so remember that when we start the demo. Boring. Our architecture hasn't changed dramatically. We still offer, mainly the Controlup plane in the cloud, and obviously run the real-time console and monitor cluster on premises. Solve is going to change that somewhat, and I'll cover that soon. And we also have fully on-premises architecture for annoying customers, and don't be offended by that. But if you are in a government, banking, military, whatnot, then we back you up, guys. So that's fine. Okay, so as promised, mostly going to spend time in demos and show you stuff. And again, feel free to ask questions. These are the flows we're going to cover today. It's been a while, so stuff in 8.1, which was released a few months ago. Controlup 8.1.5 was released like, I think, a month ago or something. There is one really cool feature that I want to share with you guys. It's the active title, active URL feature. So we'll do that. Our good friend Trent was busy in Q1 this year building an Agile integration. Agile has become a very popular, thin client solution for EUC environments. So Trent built a really nice Agile integration with Controlup. It's relying on our existing Linux data collector functionality, so we'll cover that as well. In addition to these things, I'm going to share some updates about our newest products, that's ScoutBiz. It's fully managed synthetic, EUC solution that can enable you to continuously track the availability of your published apps and desktops. So that's cool. We're going to provide some updates on Solve. Solve is our next-gen web-based real-time console. We plan to go public beta hopefully this summer. so like a month or two from now. So I'm going to show that a bit. Script actions, we are working continuously on our community script actions. I'm going to cover one bit which is close to my heart, which is the analyze log and duration script, and Trent and Guy Leach and many other guys have contributed. So I'm going to cover that, and then Eugene will barge in and show everything else we are doing around script actions. Finally, I will share some quick news about our new partnership with VMware and Controlup A2, and that's pretty much it for today. Okay, so let's start. So Controlup 8.1 was released a while ago. I'm happy to share with you guys that we have recent time I checked, we have over 850 customers already running Controlup 8.1, so it's solid, it's great. One of the big things that we added in Controlup 8.1 is the ability to scale out our monitor cluster. Let me show you how this looks like. It's pretty cool, actually. So if you are old enough, you know that before Controlup 8.1 or 8, we were limited to a single Controlup monitor, which is a very important aspect of architecture per Controlup organization. New with 8.1, it's been the case for a few months now. We can now scale out the monitor cluster, so we can basically support any size of EUC environment. I can share with you guys that our largest customers to date is managing almost 50,000 VDI endpoints with Controlup. And the way we do that is, as you can see in this drawing, this is a typical large customer. In this case, it's just happens to be an Horizon customer. And what Controlup 8.1 enables us to do is to basically scale out the monitor cluster and even do it on a per site basis, right? So in this case, we have like site A with a bunch of, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 VDI endpoints. So we have 4 monitor nodes covering that, and we can do the same for other sites. And all of these monitor nodes are part of one big monitor cluster, and that's how we can scale out and support really large environments. So that's one thing which has changed in Controlup 8.1. That's great. Another new feature is the Horizon API integration. So you might have seen that for a while now we have API integration with Citrix Zen Desktop. And with 8.2, we're also going to enable API integration with Citrix Cloud. But starting 8.1, we have an API integration with Horizon. Okay, so I want to quickly cover that. This is how it looks like on my 8.1.5 console. So I'm going to focus on this Horizon 7.7 EUC connection. Once I do that, you will see here that we now automatically detect all the connection servers on a per Horizon point basis, and we automatically discover all the desktop pools. So it's really nice for Horizon customers. So that's one thing we do, automatic discovery of the major components, whether it's desktop pools, connection servers. We fully support Horizon cloud pod architecture, which is nice. Now, once you connect to this Horizon API extension, we are getting a few interesting items. So one, obviously, the VDI endpoints themselves. Okay, so we can show you on a per VDI endpoint to which pool it's connected to, whether it's available, connected, or has some other issue. We show the Horizon power state and many other Horizon API-based integrations, right? Anything from the agent version to other things you can see in here. Okay, the same is true for, let me focus on the desktop pools themselves. I'll go to folders. You can see that for each desktop pool, we show what's the machine source, right? Whether it's virtual sensor or something else. We can show if the pool type is automatic. We can show if the desktop pool is available or not. So it's very similar to the Zen desktop integration, but obviously for Horizon customers. Okay, so that's in a nutshell. Last thing, if I'll go to sessions, let's focus again on the entire Horizon site here, and I will show unmanaged sessions if you don't mind. So the same is true for sessions, right? Once you connect to Horizon sites or pods, we will enumerate all the Horizon sessions, and depending on whether the agent is connected or not, we'll show the everything we have for sessions, as you can see on screen right now. Okay, so that's about our new stuff in Controlup 8.1. Now, and again, Eugene, by the way, if you see anything interesting or you want to pop, barge in, just feel free.
Yeah, no questions so far, but you guys, everybody, feel welcome to ask questions. Just prepare your drink before you do, yeah?
Yeah, do that. Okay, so Controlup 8.15, right? So 8.15 is our newest release. It was released like a month ago, and we are going to release a slightly updated version really soon. The main feature, a new feature in Controlup 8.5 is a new session columns that will show you the active title of the foreground app, and in case this is a browser, we will also show the active URL. Let's see it on screen. It's pretty nice, actually. So I'm going to, again, focus on my entire organization. I am currently running in the sessions view, and let me show you here. So what you see here, these 3 new columns, which are part of our sessions view: active app, active title, and active URL. This is the new feature in 8.5. Let's quickly explain what we see here. Active app, this will show the process name behind the app currently running in the foreground, right? So this could be anything. Whether it's a browser or not will show that. Active app title, this will show the Windows title of the foreground application. Again, regardless if it's a Windows app or a browser. And finally, active URL, this field will be populated only if the foreground app happens to be a browser. Now, the cool thing here is that we support all the modern browsers. Internet Explorer, some still use it, be surprised or not. Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. Okay, so everything is supported. To quickly show you how this looks like, let's put this Firefox browser here. So you know what? Let's focus on my session for a sec. So it will be this session here. So as you can see, now that I switched on this session here, I switched to the Firefox app. You can see that I can see which app is in the foreground. I can see the active app title, and I can see the active URL. In this case, it's a very, to me, a troubling user trying to improve himself. That's always a bad sign. If I switch to Chrome here, let's do this. So you can see both things in here. If I switch to Chrome, you will see that almost instantly, you can now see that Controlup picked up that I switched from Firefox to Chrome, and now Chrome is listed as the active app, and I can see the active app title and finally the URL. Okay, so that's, again, real-time, supporting all the modern browsers, and you can use this new feature also with the rest of our popular features like automation, triggers, right? So if you, I don't know, if you see someone like this guy, where the URL contains something like how to hack a website, you can easily configure an automation that will look for, I don't know, worrisome titles or URLs and do something once you recognize that, either kill the process or send a message to the end user or whatnot. Okay, so that's the new feature in 8.1.5. Okay, moving on, and I am mindful for our time here. Agile integration. So as I mentioned, Agile is becoming more and more popular. It's a great solution for thin clients, regardless of the EUC technology you're using. And as you guys can see in this URL, you know what? Maybe we'll share it later with the audience via our presentation. But we basically used our Linux data collection feature to fully embed Agile as part of the Controlup console. Let me show you how it looks like. So this is Controlup running on our US office. This is the Acme lab. And as you can see, I am now focused on a folder called Agile. Okay, this Agile folder contains a bunch of Agile thin clients. And the great news is that once you guys complete the integration steps, an Agile thin client will appear just like any other Controlup managed computers. And this means a lot. This means A, it will appear in the real-time console with real-time, CPU, RAM, networking, all the good columns we have for real-time managed computers. In addition, and this is pretty big, you can drill down to any Agile managed device and see the processes view in real time, right? So we can see everything, whether it's the ICA client or anything else running on Agile, and this provides end-to-end visibility. If someone complains and everything seems super cool on the VDI part, the VDA, right, and latency and everything, you can now check the actual physical endpoint and see if maybe it's stressed due to something happening on the other device. Another big thing is that since Agile here is integrated just like any other Controlup endpoints, it means it will appear in insights. So you also have historical reporting for your Agile thin clients. And finally, using our really awesome script action technology, we have published quite a few management actions for Agile. So you can see them on screen right now. Let me focus a bit. You can see it even better. So these are all community-based published script actions, and using our virtual expert technology, we have used the contextual navigation option. So when you right-click an Agile device, you will see everything we have ready for Agile, whether it's rebooting the Agile device. And by the way, these script actions are actually leveraging the Agile PowerShell modules and the Agile management server. So think of it as something similar to forcing a VM to reboot via the vSphere API, right? So this is a pretty full integration. We have already quite a few customers leveraging that to include their Agile devices in Controlup, and that's pretty awesome.
Yoni, we have a couple of questions coming in.
Sure. Let's see.
Okay. So we have Marcus Tenner, we have Rob de Court, and we have Stefan Malman, who I request to please prepare your drinks, so we can toast first. Yeah, Yoni, you ready or what?
I'm after a few shots already, man. So I can leave after a few.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So bottoms up, everyone, first. And now let's ask the question. So there's 3 questions about URLs and active window title. So they're all about the same theme, basically about the data privacy aspects of that and whether it can be disabled. So, every time we come out with a new feature that the market asks us for, we release it and then people come, can you disable that? So for most of the new features, we sort of tried it. Yeah. So can you comment on that?
Let me cover that real quick, and then we'll move on to other questions. So I could imagine our German and other European friends would be cautious about the privacy of their end users, and that's totally acceptable. So the good news is that both for the active app and the active title, we have a policy that can enable you guys to protect the privacy of the end users. So as you can see on screen right now, we can either simply turn these features on and off. Okay, so you have an on and off switch for both the active app and active URL title. Okay, now if you want to be a little more granular, okay, let's say that I'm worried that I want to protect titles that might be sensitive. Okay, so we can do something like this. Okay, we can go ahead and configure something like secret. I don't know if it makes sense, but basically once we do this, from now on, once this is applied, whenever Controlup will intercept a Windows title which contains the word secret, it will not show it here. And let me show you a quick demo. So I'm going to open Notepad and I'm going to save this as a secret thing, okay, on desktop. So you will see my session here. Hopefully rather soon we'll see, let me show you my session here just to make sure we see it. So okay, this didn't work. Maybe I missed something here. Just a sec. Oh yeah, that's a typo. Sorry, secret, right? I did do this in here just to make sure. Okay, the typo was here actually. Never mind. Let's do the typo. I took a few shots. I mentioned that already. So let's apply this with a typo, and let's wait for it to apply. So as you can see, we can be pretty granular with this, and once you're typing it right, it should hide titles that contain the strings you're hiding, just like you're seeing on screen right now, right? So it's hidden by rule, meaning that we will hide specific strings. Okay, so hopefully this covers this question, EJ. Yeah,
and there's another, yep. By Roger Hoek asking if it's live information, does it not generate a lot of networking traffic? And I think it can be sort of expanded to include the value of our real-time updates and real-time data. And can you speak a little bit about the resource consumption impact of that? Specifically, the questions about networking traffic.
Sure. So in general, if you guys are not familiar with that, our Controlup agent,
of course, this deserves a shot as well. Yeah.
2 shots, man.
Roger, to you.
Salute, mate. So our Controlup agent works in real time. It's been like that since the beginning of history. We send updates every 3 seconds, and the way we built the agent is in a way which it has very low footprints on the VDI endpoint, something like 1% of CPU, 50 megs of RAM, and no IOPS. Everything happens in RAM. And also the channel with the real-time console and the monitor cluster is quite efficient. We usually don't consume more than 1 kilobyte per second on a per agent console connection. And the same is true for the active app title, right? So it does change in real time, as you've seen in the demo, but it hasn't adversely affected either the agent footprint or the agent network consumption. So it's all good, nothing special here. Anything else, Eugene, before we move on to other stuff?
Not yet, go ahead.
Great, okay, so that was about active app and Agile integration. I again want to thank Trent for his great work, and that's really awesome. So moving forward, I do want to cover ScoutBees real quickly. So ScoutBees, if you haven't heard about this before, this is a new offering by Controlup. This is a fully managed service that enables you to easily monitor the availability of your published resources. Okay, this is fully managed, meaning that the backend is hosted on our cloud, so nothing to configure from your end. And the scouts are the one, it's the component that actually runs the synthetic published app or published desktop. This can either run fully on the cloud, so you have like a fully managed synthetic VDI testing solution, or you can deploy the Scout on premises. And this might be the case, if you need things like on-prem, test on-prem branches, and so on and so forth. So this is how the ScoutBees dashboard look like. This is one specific test I have configured on my account. This test is running every 15 minutes, and it's checking our published Citrix Zen desktop, right? And we can see it here. We can get notifications if something fails, and we can drill down to any of these tests, and we can see additional information like the logon duration and the latency, and we can even see a screenshot of the fully loaded session. Obviously, if something failed, we'll see the reason in here, and so on. It's a pretty robust solution. You can go ahead and create scouts, again, either in the cloud and select the Amazon location where we want from, or you can deploy a custom hive on one of your branch offices, and so on. And as you can see here, we'll just let's choose location here. These are the currently supported VDI solutions. So either Citrix Cloud, Citrix on premises via NetScaler, or locally via Storefront, and Horizon Cloud or Horizon UAG. We are working on WVD and other items. Okay, so this is pretty cool. We have a free offering for like 1 test every hour, and we have paid I think we have, let's see here. We also have some paid offerings that enable you to run more scouts and on shorter intervals. So that's really picking up. It's really great, and yeah, feel free to test this. Use this. This is awesome.
Yoni, there's a question here. Question from Joao Motu. So to you.
Eugene, I hope you are drinking all the time, right?
And we have a question about can Controlup be used to monitor traffic to and from network components? So maybe talk about NetScalers and stuff that we do for that.
Yeah, so just to quickly cover that, we're not connecting to traditional networking components like firewalls or routers. We are monitoring NetScaler. I won't cover it today because it's pretty big, but we do have full-blown NetScaler API integration, which is pretty awesome, and we do have networking metrics on all the layers we're covering, right? So whether it's any physical host, ESXi, Nutanix, whatnot, we do have quite a few networking metrics like usage, NIC usage, drop packets, and the same is true for VMs, for user sessions, and even for processes, right? So for each process running, we can show you live what would be the networking data it's currently generating, whether it's sent or received. So that's pretty much it about networking stuff in Controlup. Okay, so ScoutBiz, go give it a try. It's pretty cool. Solve. Okay, so Solve is something really dear to my heart. It's something we have been working on for a rather long time now. So let me put it on screen. Just a sec. Okay, so what you see on screen right now, this is the first version of Solve. So Solve is our next-gen real-time solution. Essentially what we're doing, we're starting to slowly migrate our C# .NET console into a modern hosted web application. And as you might imagine, moving to web application will put us in a whole new situation. Obviously it's a lower footprint. We can start exposing APIs. We can easily integrate, and we can easily scale the real-time console because this solution here, Solve, does not directly connect to all the resources like the real-time console. It's actually working against our monitor cluster. So it's an end-tier solution, and the new real-time web-based Solve application is much lighter because depending on what you're viewing here, it will simply send the real-time query to the monitor cluster running on premises and will display it on screen. Now, the view itself includes dashboards, as you've seen a second ago, but we haven't neglected our cool grid, right? So here you can see the machines. I can sort based on CPU. I can drill down just like the real-time console. I can go to processes, and hopefully you feel it via the go-to meaning app, but it's really fast, right? Even though this is a web app running, on our hosted cloud, it's really responsive. It's working almost as fast as the .NET console. And hopefully by the time we GA this, it will be as fast, right? So it's pretty cool. It's going to become available for public beta during this summer. So stay tuned. And this is a big, big thing for us. This is going to open many other use cases for us, and it's happening. So that's Controlup Solve. Great. Finally, script actions before the news I want to share with you guys. So I don't have a lot of time left, so I'm going to cover some major enhancements we did with our all-time favorite analyze log and duration script. So let's choose a few sessions here. I'll choose an Horizon and a Citrix session. Okay, so I'm going to run analyze log and duration around that. So oh, it's actually running already. Great. Okay, so let's start with Horizon enhancements. Okay, so this is ALD running against an Horizon session running on Windows 10. And let's see what we added recently. So first big thing, we added pre-Windows phases, right? So what you see on screen, this is an Horizon session. The overall log duration was almost 40 seconds. And what you can see here is that the Windows phases took a bit more than 30 seconds, but we can now also tell you how long it took to process the pre-Windows Horizon phases, right? Whether it's authentication or the brokering and whatever else the Horizon API can show us. We added support for app volumes. So if you have app volumes as part of your Horizon session, you will see it here. And we also enhanced some Windows phases like active setup and FS logics, if you have this, and many other things. For Citrix sessions, we did the same thing. So Trent and Guy Leach worked really, really hard. And that's how we got to this awesome pre-Windows Citrix phases, right? So now we can tell you for Citrix phases, how long it takes to actually, how long it took to actually download and then process the ICA file. And we can see, what's the gap between the Citrix pre-Windows phases and when the Windows session actually started. So all of this is available via our community section on the website or via the console. The new script this script was actually published like last week. So it's really great, and we are working on additional enhancements. We do want to include absence phases and other cool things. So this is analyze operation. Eugene, do you want to share your screen in regards to the other new scripts we are working on?
Sure do. Can you make me the presenter?
I'm not sure I can, but I bet Alex can do that.
Yeah.
So while Eugene is sharing his screen, I do want to say that we are working with a really great team of experts. You know what, Eugene, you can present them. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks. So so basically, if you guys didn't know, Controlup has a script gallery. We have a script store which offers scripts for a few years now, and we have been working with a team of experts. Part of which you'll be probably able to meet part of them in the future E2Es, and in this one I know Ton De Verde is here, and Guy Leach is going to be presenting at this conference, so you'll see those names in the list of scripts that I'm showing right now. So just a quick look at some of the recent scripts that we published. The idea is basically to let the community contribute their own scripts, and people download them and improve them and make their own mods of them and request other new functionality. And since those are scripts and we don't need to release a new version every time we publish them, so there's been a lot of innovation here and a lot of quick tactical solutions to solve all sorts of problems, and mainly in the EUC environment. So you can see things like handling local user profiles, obviously analyzing log configuration, which Yoni showed a little bit. Clever stuff that get into the process level, such as integrating procmon and creating memory dumps for processes. The Agile integration, which Yoni mentioned, a lot of scripts that manipulate the Agile management APIs, and a lot of scripts we did recently for Horizon before we released the proper integration for Horizon Virtual Desktop. We already started releasing all sorts of scripts that provide solutions to specific cases and specific administrative challenges for Horizon. So we've released a lot of those. Don as well as Wouter have been involved a lot in work on that. And now we have Esther Bautel and our own Trent and Ty working on integration with WBD. So there's going to be a lot of scripts coming in the near future regarding WBD. I saw that there's a lot of buzz on WBD in this conference, and hopefully in the next one we'll already be able to demo you guys some new functionality with regards to WBD, which we're going to integrate. And of course, with regards to the PowerShell gallery, I invite you all guys to look at the script there. There's a lot of inspirational stuff going on there, solving problems, and potentially, you can always contribute your own ideas and ask us maybe to develop some solution for stuff that you have you see in the field. I personally think that this is one of our greatest achievements, a whole very active library of scripts that have been in use. And think of all of those scripts as potentials for also automation, which Controlup offers. So we can always automate those scripts. For some cases, it makes perfect sense and provides really great solutions. There's also a question about Matthijs Haverink is asking, can you also analyze and see FS logic disk attached time? So the answer is yes. We recently added that. Yoni, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, it's part of the latest analyze long duration. It does include the FS logic step which might affect the logon. So yeah, it's there.
Yep. So cheers, Matthias. Thanks for the question.
Cheers.
And
man.
And the next thing I want to talk about, and this will be our closing comments.
I want to show one last thing before that, Eugene. Just
sure, go ahead.
Alex, can you give me the screen for 2 minutes, and then we'll let Eugene close this one?
I can do that now. When I'm the presenter. Go ahead.
Okay, so just last two things for my end, and then we'll let Eugene do the closing comments. I always want to say that. So I guess some of you heard about that, but some not. But anyway, I do want to share this with this great community. It's a pretty exciting thing for me as well. So this May, like last month, VMware officially announced our partnership with them. So in a nutshell, VMware are starting to directly sell Controlup to the Horizon customer. They're going to support it directly as well. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully, it will make Controlup as popular for Horizon customers as it already is for Citrix customers. So you can read this blog if you want from one of the main Horizon PMs in VMware. It tells the whole story, and it's really exciting thing for us. And finally, before we go back to Eugene, Controlup 8.2, it's due hopefully this summer. So as mentioned, this will support the first GA build of Sol and a few other anticipated features like Citrix Cloud integration. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Stay tuned for that. And Eugene, take it away.
Yeah, I can make me the presenter or just show the slide with the session, with the community session.
Easier for me, just a sec. There you go.
Thanks, man. So basically, tomorrow we'll be showing another session, which we call a community session, which doesn't really talk about Controlup, but does use a lot of insights that we gain by being in such a central place in the EUC industry. Basically, what we do is we help customers monitor north of 1 million concurrent user sessions per day, and that's just the online customers that we have. So think of this as a huge farm of VDI and server-based computing, and we're able to monitor in real time what's actually happening to those environments. And with this data, we analyzed what happened to VDI and server-based computing usage in different countries and industries since the beginning of this year. We actually have some very interesting insights about both the activity during this period. I think everybody in the world is more accustomed to looking at graphs now, and everybody knows what an exponential means, and everybody knows, there's a nail biter every day with looking at different charts going up and down. So I want to show you some more cool charts that show how the EUC industry and the different industries relying on EUC products reacted to this recent period of time. Some countries and some industries are affected differently than others. I actually see those differences in the data. I want to share this with you guys. I think there's no better group of people to share this with. And another thing that will be really cool about the data that I'm going to be presenting is the impact of this change over time. The increase in activity and decrease in activity in different sectors and geographies in the world, how it actually affects on user experience, right? So we're going to look at user experience, specifically logon duration, and see how was it affected by the recent changes, whether there were more users or less users, how did that affect the different environments. I think those are great insights, and some of them are really exclusive. And this is the first peek of this data for specifically for the E2E community. By the way, Alex mentioned that there's going to be other tracks and other sessions going on in different rooms, so feel free to attend multiple. I'm going to do my best to make the slides as self-explanatory as possible, so you're going to be able to watch the slides in parallel with another session and hopefully understand what's going on. So I'm going to try to enable that as best I can. So see you tomorrow in that session. That's going to be 3:50 p.m. Central European time, and we'll see you there.